Chapter 6. Bias in the machine. We like to think of machines as neutral, impartial, objective, numbers don't lie, code doesn't care. Algorithms simply calculate cold, clean, logical, that's the myth. The comforting lie we tell ourselves, the truth is far messier, far uglier. Machines don't have biases, but they learn them from us, from our data, from our history, from our failures. And once learned, they amplify them, automate them, scale them, institutionalize them. This is not a bug, it's a feature of how AI works, of how we built it. Let's start with faces. In 2015, a Black software developer posted on Twitter Google Photos had labeled him and his friend as gorillas. Not once, not by accident, consistently, he was horrified. Google was mortified, they apologized. They fixed it by blocking the label gorilla entirely. A crude solution, but revealing. The system wasn't broken. It was working exactly as designed. It had learned from data, millions of images scraped from the web, where Black faces were underrepresented, mislabeled, or associated with racist tropes. Garbage in, gospel out. This wasn't isolated. Study after study showed facial recognition systems performed worse on darker-skinned faces, especially women. Error rates for light-skinned men, less than 1%. For dark-skinned women, over 30%. That's not a glitch. That's systemic bias baked into the training data, the labeling, the testing, the deployment. And the consequences? Real, devastating. In 2020, Robert Williams, a Black man in Detroit, was arrested because a facial recognition system misidentified him as a shoplifter. He spent 30 hours in jail, lost time with his daughters, lost trust in the system. He was innocent. The machine was wrong, but no one questioned it until it was too late. Then came hearing. Amazon built an AI recruiting tool to screen resumes. Trained on a decade of hearing data, mostly male engineers, it learned to downgrade resumes that included the word women's, like women's chess club captain. It penalized graduates of all-women colleges. It favored male candidates not out of malice, but because that's what the data rewarded. Amazon scrapped the project. But how many others are still in use? Quietly filtering out qualified candidates based on gender, race, zip code, school name. Then came healthcare. An algorithm used by hospitals across the U.S. to identify patients needing extra care was found to systematically underrefer Black patients. Why? Because it used healthcare costs as a proxy for healthcare needs. But Black patients, due to systemic inequities, often had lower costs, not because they were healthier, but because they had less access to care. The algorithm saw lower costs and assumed lower need. As a result, sicker Black patients were denied the help they deserved. Researchers estimated it affected millions. Then came criminal justice. COMPAS, a risk assessment tool used to predict recidivism, was found to be twice as likely to falsely flag Black defendants as high risk compared to white defendants. Meanwhile, it was twice as likely to falsely label white defendants as low risk. ProPublica's investigation called it biased against Black defendants. The company claimed it was fair by their definition. But fairness is not a mathematical constant. It's a human choice. And the choice, whether intentional or not, favored some and punished others. Why does this happen? Because AI learns from data, and data is not neutral. It is a reflection of the world with all its inequalities, prejudices, blind spots, and power structures. Train a model on historical hearing data. It learns to replicate historical hearing biases. Train it on policing data. It learns to replicate policing biases. Train it on medical records. It learns to replicate medical biases. The machine doesn't know it's being unfair. It doesn't know race or gender or class. It knows patterns. And if the pattern says people from this zip code are more likely to default on loans, it will use that, even if the real reason is redlining, even if the real reason is systemic disinvestment, even if the real reason is racism. Worse, because it's a machine, we trust it. We call it objective. We defer to it. We let it make decisions about jobs, loans, bail, healthcare, parole, without questioning its logic, because it's data-driven, because it's scientific, because it's AI. But AI is not science. Not yet. It's statistics. It's pattern recognition. It's automation of the status quo. and the status quo is biased. Fixing it is not easy. You can't just remove bias from data. Bias is not a switch, it's woven into the fabric. You can try to balance datasets, add more black faces, more female resumes, more rural patients. But that's a band-aid. You can try to Debia's algorithms, adjust weights, add fairness constraints, audit outputs. But that's fragile. You can try to diversify the teams building the systems, which helps, but doesn't solve the core problem. The core problem is this: AI doesn't create bias. It reveals it. It magnifies it. It automates it. And because it's fast, scalable, and invisible, it does so at a scale and speed no human system ever could. This is not a technical problem. It's a societal one, a moral one, a political one. Because every biased algorithm is a mirror. It shows us who we are, who we've been, who we've failed. And unless we face that, unless we fix the world the data comes from, the machines will keep learning the wrong lessons. And we will keep pretending they're neutral. They're not. They never were. And if we don't act, they never will be.